Hey everyone, it's David here. So I want to talk to you today about just a couple past investments I've done and a couple that are coming up. Hey everyone, it's David here. I want to welcome you and thank you for watching this section of my video today. So today I'm going to talk to you about a podcast that I'm going on, and I was asked to talk about something that I do a little bit of. So if you know me, I've done everything from fix and flips, and I still do them. My last fix and flip was in January of 2021. Today's date is June 8th, by the way, of 2021. I had a property in Fontana, California. It was brought to me by an agent that I've done a ton of business with. He did get the commission on the back end. It was basically a distressed property. I made a total profit of $41,000 within a 7-week period, which is the highest I made in that short of a range. I've made more with property flips, but I typically have had the property on a little bit longer. What I did is I went ahead and went in and immediately got the work going. I got the property privately listed on Zillow. And even though I was working with an agent, I had a buyer sure enough come in, and it was really cool. I sold that property for the highest. It was the highest 3-bedroom, 2-bath that I'd sold in that tract of homes. And again, property value is going up, but it was just pretty cool to be able to break that record and have that. I actually had a couple of houses like that in my last couple of sales. But I've also done in the past, I'm doing a podcast on this because I was asked to, I've done notes in the past, and a lot of people ask me about notes. And I will say that notes are fun, but they are also a little bit scary. But my first note I got was in Pomona, California. And if you know California, there's where the 57 and the 10 freeway come together just below the 210. The other section where a whole bunch of freeways come together, and there's this hill up there, and it's on top of the hill. And Pomona has its good parts, but it has its really, really bad parts. And this was actually I didn't know Pomona was this nice in any certain areas, but it was a beautiful house, overlooked everything. And I was just getting new back into investing. I wish I'd been in a little bit of a different financial situation because I would have hung on to this house. But financially, I didn't have the resources to, but I ended up buying a second from a bank that they were not moving, and it was a commercial bank. And I was offered it to a banker who had known me and knew the business that I was in. And I thought she was pulling me for a fast one. I called her back and I just said, I had wholesaled the property to her son, and I thought she was pulling me a fast one, and called her and I just said, are these numbers real? And she walked me through it. I forget what the final profit was on that property. This is back in like 2012. I think it was like around 80,000 if I'm not mistaken. So I was in it for probably about 30 to 40,000 all in, and I literally more than doubled my money on that flip. I have another note that I had bought just as kind of an investment, and this one is just beginning to wrap up now. And again, I'll do investments here and there, and sometimes I do a lot of syndication, and this one's really interesting. It's in San Antonio, Texas. It was a first, there's only a first on the property. The first one I bought was the one I just told you about was a second. This one was a first, and it's been a roller coaster. We're finally getting paid out on this one. It's been 2 years, but the lady who was in the property had filed a Chapter 13, and then we were going to get the note reperforming and then sell the note for 80% of value. So the total value on the note was like somewhere around it was 90,000, and I actually ended up picking up the note for about 55,000 when all was said and done. I got the note for it, and I got it with a tape and a batch of notes that some other people bought, and I got this one. Well, her Chapter 13 went into a Chapter 7. After the Chapter 7, we hit COVID. So literally she got about a good year on the property without any auctions or anything like that happening. And then at this point, she'd been in the property about a good 4 or 5 years at this point and had not made payments. And it's really sad. What she ended up doing was selling it to somebody and telling them that she still owned it and was collecting payments and took a down payment. You see a lot of fraud in real estate. It's really sad. And I think someone like that should personally be in jail. But interestingly enough, the woman who is in the property qualifies for a loan. So the property is worth about 160. We took the property back. We've served her with an eviction notice, but this is where heart comes into the business. And whenever you do business, I like to sleep at night. She qualifies for a loan to a certain amount with the equity. So we're all in it right now with the face value of the note. We're all in it for about, I'd say maybe like 65,000. I'd have to do my numbers. The face value of the note is 121. So literally, we're looking at like almost like a, not quite a double, but almost 100% return on investment, but not quite that. It's been 2 years later, actually about a year and 6 months, so not quite 2 years. And we're going to go ahead and work with her. We're going to let her qualify for the loan. We're having her put $5,000 into escrow. That's non-refundable. And if she can't perform, then she knows that she has to get out of the property, and we're going to move on. And if I took the property back, if I evicted her, I cleaned it up, I'd probably put about 20 into it at least, maybe a little bit more, but let's say 20. I could probably sell it with the inventory right now. It would probably sell for about 160. I would have probably about, I wouldn't say quite a 10% holding cost because I'm the note holder, but it would be about 140. It'd be probably, let's say just another 10 to be safe. So we're in it for about 130. So it would almost balance itself out, really. I mean, I'd probably make somewhere between 5 to 15 more, depending on how much rehab I did, what the spread was when I got it sold. So you just want to do things like that. So yeah, I've been asked to go on a podcast. I'll be going on a podcast. I'll keep you updated because the one thing I haven't done a lot of is I haven't done a lot of podcasts, and I'm still fairly new at this. So hey, I just want to thank you for watching this video, and yeah, do me a favor, give me a like if you like it. What I'm working on right now, and I shared this yesterday, is we have a couple things that are going on. Sometimes something comes across my desk that is too good to be true, and this says talk about me. I had a while ago, this was back in 2014, I had a mobile home park, commercial mobile home park across my desk, and it was a great deal. It wasn't even that large of a park, but it had a lot of potential, and it was two owners that wanted to sell it and do some other investments, and it was really cool because I ended up giving one of them free advice on a property, and he just said, hey, you know what, I have this, I'll give you first dibs to be able to buy it. So it was really cool to be able to be part of that transaction. Since then, I've moved on from that. I did like that. I do have a hotel that I currently own. This one was handed to me. It was badly being managed. I've jumped in, and there's some investors involved in this, and I wanted to see them. So when the person who brought me the deal, who needed some serious help with it, just basically said, here are the keys, go ahead and take this. I've taken this deal over, and I'm in it right now for probably about 100,000 into capital right now. But this will probably be, right now we're on track to make about 60,000 this month. The overhead's about 45, and this is the highest month that it will be performing. And we're probably looking at some summer months between 70 to 90, and then we'll get it. And what I'm going to do is stabilize it out. I'm currently doing some lighting on the project and everything on the exterior. So I'm doing some lighting, cleaning up the project, doing some floodlights, lighting up the place like a Christmas tree. And with this one, I'm looking at it, and I'm saying to myself, okay, I get a syndication management fee, which I'll start taking probably this month. I'll take my first one, and I'll pay myself a management fee every month. And I'm literally managing this with the hotel manager who knows a lot about it, but I have the right person in place. And that's what you want to do. You want to get the right people in place. I mean, last weekend in one day, just by pulling some strings, he brought in over 2,000. Now, keep in mind, you might say, "Oh, that sounds great. That sounds wonderful." We're in an area where that is a lot of money, and it's pretty big. And literally for the day that he pulled this off, we were scheduled to do 300. I put the right people strategically, and I get them into place, and that's what this is about. Same thing with the notes. With the note podcast I'm going on, you get the right people in place when you get the management going on. So the next deal I'm working on right now, and it's a syndication 506C, and I'm looking forward to this. It's literally less than a mile from the beach, and it's interesting because when you look at this and you look at how it's being ran and what's happening, it's like this has a positive cash flow, mom and pop, older, and it's underperforming. And I say it's underperforming because they're not even using the correct booking engines for this. They're not using, I mean, I'm taking away, I'm not even factoring in that they're not hitting the surf community, they're not hitting the ocean community, they're not hitting, there's a zip line right by this place, and they have a contract, and they're not even hitting that. And it's like, wow, you have all these amenities with this project, and you're pulling in a positive cash flow, 150 Google reviews with the 4.5 star rating, and you take all that aside and you're bringing in a positive cash flow, and you're not even managing this property correctly. So that's what I'm working on right now, and I'm really super excited about it. It's kind of my next project. And if you know me, I do a lot of projects, and I work on pretty much one thing at a time. So hey, I want to thank you for watching this video. If you like it, or if you have any questions, feel free to hit me up for questions. And that's just what I'm on. I just want to kind of talk about the podcast. It's kind of exciting because I haven't done a lot of podcasts. I've been in a couple magazine articles. I've been featured. I've had a few bloggers blog about me with my software business that's very lucrative and it's very performing. But I haven't had a lot of podcasts talk to me about actual real estate investing. And I've done some videos on property. You've seen my YouTube links. You've seen my before and after videos. And I love getting in the investing world. And people always say, well, if this is a hobby, it's bad. I'm not going to say it's a hobby, but it's a side hustle for me because I've got my full-time software business. But my goal is with me and the investing community I have, I want to be able to take a group of investors, including myself, and get them positive cash flow every single month that they can enjoy just the cash flow plus the equity increase in a project. And this project I'm talking about right now from the ocean, literally we're gonna more than increase the value in we believe we're gonna increase the NOI. We're gonna own it free and clear, which is unheard of, and it's really not that much money, but we're gonna have if we do this correctly, we're going to take the NOI and we believe we're going to double it. Not double it. Well, it's 152 right now. We believe we're going to get it right in the $225,000 to $250,000 range. And literally, we've got two main goals. The first goal is we're going to go ahead and hit the correct booking engines. The second main goal, and keep in mind, like we have social media coming out on this project, like the zip lining and showing a family zip lining, we're not even including that. Or showing some surfers at the beach and some kids surfing, we're not even including that. Like we're going to hit up and really promote this so many different ways, and that's just going to be an added bonus. So the first one's going to be the booking engine, and the second one's going to be getting the right management in place, which we already have a event coordinator who's going to be able to, which is all in our NOI, but it's pretty cool. So they're going to go ahead and be able to promote the local events, weddings, things like that. Now that the economy's back open, and probably the biggest, like people will say to me, well, what happens if the economy shuts back down with COVID or something like that? Well, we have some cash flow put aside, and we will own this property free and clear. So that's a great concern too. Those are things, like you look at the note I just held right now, and you had COVID that hit. What's the worst thing that happens? Well, we're still getting interest on this note for back payments, and it's just sitting there. And we had to hold on until the courts opened back up, and we were able to go back forward. And this will be something very similar. Hey, I've rambled on long enough. So yeah, hey, if you ever have any questions or anything I'm hitting up, please feel free to comment, or you can hit me up. You know my contact information. If not, just ask me for it on LinkedIn, and I'll gladly provide it. Thank you for watching this, and I'll see you on the next video.